The cafe, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We got a lot of people talking here. There are these awesome books and stuff that everybody's like, beautiful artwork and everything as well. Now I should actually have one of these issues in front of me while I'm saying this, but Deborah Rosen, you know, I talk about being an editor, thank you my darling, is the editor of Rhino magazine, and what she does is they produce these volumes. This is a one-time-a-year thing, and the reading period has just started April 1st for it, which is phenomenal. And, you know, I was going to say, I'm really proud that she's actually here, and she had a book, well, it is over there where we find ourselves. It was just published by SUNY Press, and she's published in magazines or literary agencies all through, there were a lot of university places. I noticed that. I'm like, I never get up with the university. I'm really jealous of this stuff. This one has a lot of phenomenal stuff, and I'm really looking forward to hearing. And if anybody wants copies of these great magazines, they're right over here. So please, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Deborah Rosen. Yeah! Woo! Come on there. Chilling out here.
Thank you, thank you. And I want to tell you that Rhino is having its release party on Sunday, April 10th. And if you go to our website, you'll find it's in Evanston at Ralph Hamilton's house.
What is the website?
The website is www.rhinopoetry.org.
Rhinopoetry.org. Okay.
And you're all invited to the release party. There'll be delicious food and wonderful poetry. So now I'll turn to my poems. And as I've been listening to the news lately and to our leaders and to their deception and corruption and venality, I'm beginning to think that I'm listening to the Bible stories of the 21st century. And I've begun to rewrite the Bible stories in lieu of the 21st century. So I will start with the first one. Is called The Stranger in Our Lives. Jacob sends his favorite son Joseph to Shechem to check on his brothers. On his way, a stranger says, they walk toward Dothan, and Joseph turns. So follows our future, his descent into Egypt, famine and Pharaoh, Moses and the Ten Commandments. Think of our presidents and kings with their weapons and war, the journeys they send us on, the strangers we all ignore. As head down, we pull our lives tighter around ourselves and stride toward Shechem. Next, I turn to Abraham. Abraham had 2 sons, his flesh, his heirs, yet willing to sacrifice both for God. His eldest sent into exile, his youngest a sword to the throat. Imagine, both are willing to honor their father with proper burial and honor each other, patriarch and desert dweller. 10,000 years have passed. I cannot understand their God of hubris and vengeance. I will join Ishmael and Isaac at Abraham's funeral and pray their descendants ignore voices in the air and find the wisdom to join hands. And this is Adam and Eve. And I wonder, what language did Adam and Eve speak in a world without words? Did God speak tones to them? Sounds become meaning there between the rivers where God sent them to live? Also arbitrary. We speak, but every creeping thing wordless, no story for its young. Why stop on the path from sound to sense to soul? Now we are trending back and down, from words to sounds to light made manifest, which we will beam to the beginning, to that Eden between the spaces that has no story, no words.
Yeah.
Now something a little lighter. It's called something that you all really need to know. How to make lint. She. The problem is he. Here, take a tissue. She. I'm not crying. It's not her. Oh, never mind. He. I know, you have no time, but you bought a whole bushel of potatoes. She. They were the same price as 3 from your fancy grocer friend. He. But you don't even like mashed potatoes. She. I do if they're smooth. He. Smooth takes time. Here's a tissue. She. No, my pockets are stuffed full. Throw it out. Don't worry. I'll call her right now. I'll do everything first. He. The trash basket's full. She. Really? Can't you stomp it down? It's just tissues. Remember when Patricia was collecting lint to stuff animals for our babies? I still have the bear cloth waiting. Well, I can finish it now. Looky here in my pocket, a lifetime of lint. And this is called 21st Century Grammar. I, too burdensome, don't want to be the pronoun of witness. We, our, dilutes responsibility. If we kick a should under the sofa, no one is left to pay attention. We can minimize, laugh off, the circle around soft cushion. I is upright, thin, God's finger pointing directly down. We all crawl so close to the center that no one can see, while I, always capital, stomps around testifying to the mess that needs fixing. Crowded so close, we can barely hear God speaking to the upright we had been. This is called solder. I want solder in my life, that strange word I never knew in childhood. Fusion, molten metal, too dangerous for a scrawny child in patent leather shoes. Now mine, to solder mother to father, clapper to bell, words to my brain. Oh, I will solder a climbing tower to my roof, tunnel to the sea, my footprints to the sidewalk, handprints to museum cases, until I have soldered myself to a world where everything of me is somewhere, where vanish does not exist. I don't know if you were aware of Chris Green's anthology on urban nature. I wrote a couple of poems, and this one is called Urban Nature. Once upon a story time, in a garden of the windy city of the big shoulders, before Millennium Park was built, the mayor man was raving at the bite marks and missing fruit caused by rabbits, rodents, raccoon, deer. A stranger came by offering an answer, the same stranger who spoke to Joseph of the coat of many colors. Joseph listened to the stranger, turned and changed history. Mayor man said, I have plenty of problem committees. I have rabbit, rodent, and deer committees. Why talk to nobody I know to explain? And that is why all mayor men continue to plant, and all Windy City animals continue to feast as flora and fauna flourish in herbs in Horto. This poem is a cento, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Every line is taken from another poet, and they're really wonderful fun to write. This is called Dreaming Myself. Waiting for darkness and a place to shine, darkness restores what light cannot repair, stalks the perimeter of an enormous dream. We dream our way back. Home's the place we head for in our sleep. My life, this shirt I want to take off. Why do I long to be devoured and to forget in life rather than in death the ancient war between obsession and responsibility? Today is always gone tomorrow. Nowhere is all around us. The cries of those who vanish might take years to get here, for entrance can never be the same as exit. Don't waste your time with recollection or prophecy. Our hands want to plant something that will bloom tomorrow. Our deep human labor to become spirits, our almost vegetal need to be reborn, all with our feet bound stiff in the skins of the conquered. I have had it all and want it back again. Time in its transparent loops as it passes beneath me now. The fear of death is as ubiquitous as light. It illuminates everything. Trembling in anticipation of first petal fall, announcement of death's commencement, which leaves us finally tattooed and senseless, trembling on the stair. For it was, we eventually came to see, the sound of our own perishing. Like what we imagine knowledge to be, dark, salt, clear, moving, utterly free. It is not the fire we hunger for, and not the ash. It is the still hour. I crave those voices dreaming in my sleep.
She looks at me, I'm like, what?
Pardon me?
You just looked over at me like, what? No, you have plenty of time.
Okay. This is called Doorknobs. I'm grateful for doorknobs that give me stopping places for a needed thought or to shutter the past, preview the future. A hand on a doorknob is a deep breath before the safe, sorry step into ever after. This is Doorway on the same subject. Then the door says stop, and I halt, my hand on the knob. You should encourage openness, I shout at the door. If you forbid me, I'll turn defiant. Enter, the door says. I step forward and try to crane my neck around it. Doors can be tricky. Seeking smoothness. I want to laminate the world so rules always work, the key always turns, the tree branch never falls on my head. Failure takes up so much space in my brain, in my day, each muscle taut to snapping, and still the cup slips from my hand, the name from my mind. I drive street after street and never find the house. If I could smooth the world with lotion, swords and bullets would slide by each other, dirt glide by the eye, irritations slip past their targets, freeing whole swaths of time and landscape. Mistake become an archaic word, till boredom slips quietly into each city square. What does the mountain know? Machines read our minds, thoughts we are thinking. But if I can't remember that day atop Wangshan Mountain, shine or rain, slippery, smooth, was it hand over hand, boulder to boulder, exaltation, scrape of stone? I existed in that world, lived those moments surely as the mountain. Now some slick-haired scientist can beam or stream ions and what? Reify my memory? Find its fragments embedded in my brain? Will I feel it reassemble, open like a flower in sun? But if a sliver is lost, will the memory crack, heave me stumbling from a crag? Will the mountain catch me, save the truth? Fragments. We are all Lot's wife, Orpheus. We will always turn around to check, to defy. And if I choose to see those random stars not as Orion's belt, but as a line demanding halt, and thus do not board the train, do not sit beside the knitting woman who talks about her son at war, and do not send him the metal charm that can deflect the shot. He will not be home to deflect his daughter's smile that shines with recognition of her power to defy, so she can insist the voices in her head are real, and lights flickering on the door a hex that she must destroy. And as she flees her fire that will consume the town, she stops too soon and turns around.
What is that one called? That was a good one. Fragments.
Fragments.
Very good.
And I love travel more than anything, as I think Carol can agree with. This is called Tiananmen Square. Mao stares across the square that labor made. His workers, grandchildren of the revolution, wait beneath the Ming blue sky to see the body of their founder, the plump-cheeked Han. Mao, they do not want to farm their family fields, stoke the hand-built furnaces in the compounds with the last emperor's flowering trees. Look, Mao, do you see their tiny bourgeois phones, their slender high-heeled shoes? Say something to them. That giggling child on his father's shoulders always wears his navy Chinese trousers, rear split open and hemmed, so he can do his business anytime. He does not even know his round cheek bottom is mooning you. This is called Lulan Beauty. It's, I met her in the Xinjiang Autonomous Region Museum in China. And you are beautiful, Lulan Beauty, in that red woven coat, fitted cloche, curls framing your long, thin face and nose. You could be merely resting in those hand-stitched leather boots. Please, I'm tapping on the glass. Was life tranquil 4,000 years ago in Xinjiang? Now I'm wandering your Taklamakan desert, looking for your serenity. I picture you on your hands and knees, coaxing barley or hemp from soil along the Tarim River, before the river wandered off from Lulan, left everyone in sand that leached away all liquid and all time. Time, that explains my tapping. Did you have time enough? The pleasure of mourning with only one task and only one way to perform it before a clean flowing river? Was each day fresh and plump? None of our shriveled minutes flaking into dust. I read you are from the Celtic realm. Did you live always east of home? Are all of us strangers in a land not ours, searching for that beginning time of competency, confidence, all homesick, Eden always to the west?
I'm sure another one or two would be great.
Okay. This is called Iguazu Falls. I grip the handrail of this wooden bridge, damp with spray, grooved with old names. Yes, I whisper to each letter I touch. Here, at this spot, my name will give me foreverness too. Just here, where a spider web, thin as thought, links this handrail to that tree branch. Here, where a phalanx of ants is carrying a fly past the mountain of my shoe, and an agouti suddenly stands statue-like on a rock. Look, in the constancy of this mist, a butterfly has landed on my thumb, and I, with the merest tilt of my head, can create rainbow after rainbow, arching from Brazil to Argentina, over Iguazu Falls. This is Taklamakan Desert, western China. The wind tolerates no footprints on its dunes, lavish pearled swaths, as if some giant hand had funneled drifts for a god to sail down. Smoothed, then smoothed again, to smother each prickly weed struggling through. The sand builds into sharp-edged waves that crowned hollows deep enough for a tribe to rest in crossing this land, sunk lower than the coast of many seas. Under each dune, all time which the ancient sea had gathered lies motionless, a bed of loneliness, generating idea and shape of dune and cave. Now using sand for shadow, the wind raises a storm to gray the sun. Then, as if those blowing grains could be restored, meekly tamps down the vastness. Camels, their own dunes heaped on their backs, mark their prints into layers of puzzle, forever incapable of being solved, forever incapable of permanency. One more. I'm sure you've heard battle warriors in Xi'an. This is Emperor Qin Shuang's tomb in Xi'an. Long ago, the roof over their tomb sagged. Timber beams rotted, collapsed, and the tilled earth above them drifted down like snow. And still they march, staunch and erect, clay skin and clothing the pallor of dust. For 2,000 years they are the soldiers who march lockstep, left arms swing forward, right hands grip spears. They do not know where the battle will be, each body identical, each face unique, mustache or frown marks, broken nose, crooked mouth. The one with the short beard had 3 small sons, but that was centuries ago. The scowling fighter, proud in the precision of his uniform, his father carved chests for Emperor Qin Shuang. They do not wait for the farmer digging a well in his field above them to find a sword, a helmet. They are prepared to fight without their swords, without their hands. The eyes of these warriors need no pupils to see the road. They wait only for the command to advance. Although they have forgotten their names, they know the battle is still before them, and they do not flinch, will not turn tail. Where could they retreat? All the future rages behind them, Agincourt, Ypres, Bataan, Baghdad. The pressure at their backs is unrelenting as they stand among wood shards, ready for the order to leave the pit, cast a shadow against the light. Thank you.
That wasn't quite long enough. Get up one more time. Thank you. I'm all like lopsided here while I'm trying to praise you. You're so cool. And if anybody wants to know, I know you all have seen it, which is so awesome when you get it live and in person, but if you wanted to actually send this clip off to people, it will be on a YouTube clip and it will be on an iPodcast in another day or 2. And if you want to know how to be able to get to it, the easiest way is to go to chaoticarts.org/thecafe, and you can find links to the feature links and to the iPodcast and everything there. And if you ever want to email to join the email list, you can always click the link. And if for some reason, because we've noticed that for our phenomenal feature tonight, if you have a problem, you can always go to, this is my personal one, JanetKuipers@gmail.com. So I get to say that, and you have to figure out how to spell it and hunt it down and stuff, because you have to actually look at the website in order to figure that out if you don't know it. So we've got a phenomenal lineup of features coming up in the future. Next week is Larry O.D. Yeah, give it up for Larry. We got GPA, the Poeticum Sub, the week after that. So we got the 12th and 19th taken care of. And Martin Alban, which we just heard earlier this year. Yeah, they were even applauding. April 26th. We got Maria's even here in Maria's at the beginning of May. And May 3rd is Maureen. We've got Ars Hodrick on May 10th. And we've got so many great features. I would love to see each and every one of you here next week. Come by for the features to the website. I'd love to see you next week. And thank you again. Thank you all so much.